Hello, David Pearson here for Walls Walk Part 2 in York. Hello, thank you for joining me for Walls Walk Part 2 in York on a nice sunny day. I'm David Pearson. Scheduled to start at 1 o'clock, which is now. But I'll just wait and one more minute to see if anyone else will be joining us. So I'm just standing opposite the Postern Gate, which if you joined the first walk, we finished that last time. So we're at the Fishergate Postern Tower, which you can see behind me. And if you remember, I told you that this little part that sticks out the building, if you can see it there, sort of there, is actually the toilet basically, because round here it was all flooded. And so any waste would fall from here sort of down into the water. Lovely. Okay. Right, so David Pearson here. I'm going to start Walls Walk 2, and we're just walking past this wonderful tower that was built, I believe, as part of the hotel, sorry, that's there. I'll just wait for, because there's a group coming down off this bridge, and I'm just going to switch the camera around. Before that, if you do want to leave a gratuity at the end, it's entirely up to you. There's a link in the description on PayPal, and that's it. If you see any links come up during the walk, it's not me, so don't respond to them. So we'll carry on with the walk now. And we're going to go over the bridge. Now this road is quite busy on my left. It's one of the main routes in and out of York, and I'm afraid this section is a little busy. We're just going over the River Foss, which is on the right hand side here. And we can just have a little look back at the wall that we finished last time. Welcome whoever's just joined. This is David Pearson doing Walls Walk 2. I hope you can hear me okay. Somebody can message me if they want to let me know. Right, we're just going over the bridge. Apologies for the noise again. Now over to the right, we see part of the castle that was here, or what remains of it, which isn't a lot to be honest. And what many people miss as they're going across here is this here, which is actually what's known as a drawbridge pit. And it's a pit in the side of the castle which will take the drawbridge when it pivots up and leaves any attackers without a bridge to cross. So I hope you can see that okay. I'll just zoom in a little bit. We can see a drawbridge would fit in quite well there, wouldn't it? And again, this would have been part of a moat that would have been filled if there was people attacking this castle. So we'll follow along the castle wall here. There's also a lost south gate along here, which I assume must have been destroyed at some point. I've just got to move out of the way of the jogger. And we're going to make our way round to what is Clifford's Tower, which is on the top of a steep man-made hill. So it's a lovely day here today, but this road is very busy. Hopefully we'll be, well, we will be leaving it soon, but before we do that, I'll just give you a view of Clifford's Tower, which isn't at all impressive at the moment because it's covered in scaffolding. Now, as you can see, the hill is quite impressive, and the actual tower, Clifford's Tower, was actually a keep and a lookout post, and the man-made hill dates from 1068, when William the Conqueror came to York and realised it needed a castle and 500 soldiers to keep it conquered. When his wood castle was destroyed within the year, in spite of a hill and a moat, he revisited, rebuilt, and realised that it would need 2 castles to keep York conquered. So this keep has actually not had a roof for many years, which is why they're now having to do a lot of restoration inside it, and they're taking this time, very well timed I'd say, while everything was shut, to actually do a lot of refurbs on it, and hopefully it'll look really good inside and outside when they're finished. We're now going to carry on with the wall walk in effect. So we leave the tower, and if I can just get across this road before, because it can get quite busy, and we end up in a nice park, and here we can see the wall starting again, look. So these are Norman defences, and we have some flood heights here. Year 2000 it got up to the top mark. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not walking in the cycle lane, because cyclists can be quite interesting to avoid. So we're actually in the park here, and we're actually coming to this river here. Now, as you see, this house here is actually built into the city wall itself, and I believe you can rent that if you want to. As we see, quite a nice house. I think it's called Davy Tower. and it was built in 1250. It goes right the way around. Now if I turn round, we can see we're well on the river here. The River Ouse. And here's motorboats you can hire, which is the only thing they're allowing at the moment. So we carry on now this way, and we need to cross the river to follow the next part of the wall. Now this is Skeldergate Bridge that we're coming up to, and we will cross over. I hope you can hear me okay. I've not had any message from anyone saying that you can or can't. So here's the bridge, Skeldergate Bridge. So it's, as you'd say, it's an iron bridge, and it's got Gothic detailing on it. The parapet is decorated with the White Rose of York. I think that's it there, you can see on the side of the bridge. Oh dear. Now the northeastern part of the bridge was originally allowed to open to let larger ships down to the quaysides, but it was last opened in 1975, and the winding mechanism has since been removed. Anyway, let's get up onto the bridge. Now it was originally built as a toll bridge. We're just going to go up the steps. Back onto a main road, but here we can see part of the toll house where they'd have taken your money on the way across, which also has this winding mechanism, or did have, for the bridge. Now, is that actually declared, here we are, free of tolls on April the 1st, 1914. By the Lord Mayor, and that was such a big event that the citizens of York actually held a regatta to celebrate the occasion. So here we can see the iron detailings on the bridge. Look down the river. It's very nice today. So we cross the River Ouse. Now down that way there is another bridge you can cross, which is the Millennium Bridge. It's actually quite a nice bridge. It's actually something quite nice from the Millennium celebrations, which is quite good. Okay, we're almost across and we'll be back on the wall in about a minute's time, I reckon. Maybe even less. If I can find my way. Oh yes, here we are. Now we're coming up to Bale Hill, which was basically William the Conqueror decided he actually needed two castles, one either side of this river, to keep York as his. So we can come into the start here, quite well preserved. And basically it's described as York's lost castle, and it's all that remains of a Norman motte and bailey castle built as part of the system of defences intended to control the southwest of the city following a rebellion in 1069. The artificial mound or motte was built by order of William the Conqueror, and it was built a year after the one that we've just seen where Clifford's Tower was the bale, that was the keep. So we're just climbing up the steps now. I can hear the birds tweeting. It's all part of the man-made mound. And here we are, back on the wall. I'll get a better view of the mound from the other side here. Here you can see how the mound goes up, and this was the site of the second castle. And some people enjoying a picnic. Now they are actually doing some work on the wall, as we can see ahead of us. And because I'm so good to you, I'm going to go on this wonderful scaffolding here to go around it. And they're actually doing some work on the stones. So the stonemasons, I believe, are in doing some work. Here you can see some Victorian style houses. So we follow the wall and then we go back onto it. And now we come to this area, which was called Birch Daughter Corner Tower. And a mark on here shows you that if we look ahead, straight ahead of us, we could see Clifford's Tower, which if those trees weren't in the way, we probably could. And you'll see the wavy lines represent the river, and then the other side is Bale Hill, which is where we've just passed. So this basically represents the two castles on a form of map. Now we can continue along the wall. And we should come to an area soon where we should get a view of the Minster. I'm not sure if it's this one or further up. Quite a straight part of the wall here. No railings on the right hand side. Plenty of beautiful daffodils all the way along the lot, and plenty of Victorian built residences. And we will come to another bar called Victoria Bar, where we'll get some views, which is just up ahead of us. And actually we'll see a few buildings from here, I hope, if I can find them for you. So here we are, just coming up to Victoria Bar now, which I won't be going down, but obviously there are steps down. And right, if you can see in the distance here, slightly in the distance, you'll see what is actually a Victorian school. So that's Bishop Hill Junior School, I believe. If we come round this way, this here in front of it, right directly in front of us, is a Methodist church that was built, Victorian. A Methodist chapel, I should say. And if I just go slightly this way and look back, we can actually see the Minster over the rooftops. There we are. So that's right the other side of the city. So that gives you an idea of how big York was at the time that these walls were all built, because that goes right across to the other side of the city. So there, right, in the distance again we have, I think you can see it, what looks like a factory with a large clock tower on it. Which is exactly what it is, a factory with a large clock tower on it. It's actually, or was, the second largest sweet factory in York. It was closed down shortly after Terry's, originally a York family firm, was taken over by Multinational Crafts. And there you see the school again. Okay, we'll carry on. Oh, sorry, and in front of us here now we have St Mary's Church. And that's something to tell us. St Mary's Church and Bishop Hill. That way. Some lovely blossom on the trees here. Now we're going to come up eventually to Micklegate Bar, which is called the Principal Bar of York, because it guards the main road south. We've just got a better view here of the school. A bit like a Disney palace with its spires, quite extravagant. And St Mary's poking its head over. Now this bar that we're coming up to, Micklegate, is also called the Principal Bar because it's where monarchs would be greeted who were visiting the city. And if you're bad enough to be a traitor, it's where your head would be displayed. So let's hope there aren't any heads on it today. Thank you. Some people a bit more leisurely than me today. So you can see the bar coming up on the left hand side, well, straight ahead of us now. And as some of the other bars that we saw on the first walk, you'll see some stone figures at the top standing there. These have probably been replaced, if there were any there before, probably replaced by the Victorians. You've got to remember these walls are a real mix of well, some Roman elements, some Middle Age elements, and then the Victorians restored them as well. This is all backing on here to the wall. Very close building here, look, with a large tree and some. So here we have a good view of the bar, and you see the figure standing right at the top. You can see the slits for the arrow slits. So I'm just going to continue down, and we'll go down onto the road just to look at the back of the bar. I think I'm allowed down this way. It's all one way at the moment, so I'm never quite sure. Oh, I should have come down that way by the look of it, but no one's coming up. So here's the back of the bar. So Micklegate Bar, a royal entrance it's called. So royal visitors have included Edward IV, Richard III, Henry VIII, James I, Charles I, James II, and more recently, good old Queen Elizabeth II. Henry VIII came in through Walmgate Bar when he visited. He totally ignored this one for some reason. Here's the bar from the rear, the city side. The back of the bar is relatively new, 1827. But the bar is basically a much renewed 14th century building on top of a Norman archway at the bottom, with a room built above that archway around 1200. Okay, we'll just have a look at the front. Here we have the front. Go back a bit further. Trying not to get in the way of people here. So you see some straight and cross arrow bow slits on the building, arrow slits, and you can see the two wooden doors there just above the archway on the left and right, which would have led on to the Barbican that would have been at the front of the bar. Strength and defensives. It was pulled down in late Georgian times, partly because some of it had basically fallen down. Oh God, some people. So there's a royal coat of arms and the city's golden lions on a red cross, which is right at the top here. And there you can see the figures at the top. The lower and most stunning coat of arms is this one. And it's the Lord Mayor who was responsible for the early restoration of the bar. Oops. Okay, let's zoom back out. And we will continue on our way, I believe. This is where we cross the road, trying not to get get run over, or cars or cyclists. So the Siege of York 1644, on the 16th of July, the Royalists surrendered the city after 3 months of siege to the besieging parliamentary forces. So I've seen a lot of action this city. So we're going to continue. We're now going to go up and over the bar. Kind of motorcyclists let me go across the road there. They just seem to come from nowhere. So here we go, over the bar. Out here, over the bar, and then you can look down the road into York. And here is a pub on the right, Micklegate. Not open yet by the look of it. Oh, I've now got 3 people with me, that's good. Thank you for joining me today. Let's have a look out over the wall. Right. I'm assuming people can hear me okay. Thank you for joining me. It's David Pearson here on Wall Walk 2. We've just gone through Micklegate Bar, which is known as one of the sort of well, the premier bar, if you like. The number of kings and queens that have come through it. And now we're heading down towards the railway area, is the best way I can put it. Because the railways caused a major expansion of the city. You can just see part of the train station there, the red roofed area, which obviously isn't the main roof of the train station. It's got the iconic sort of, I don't know what you call it, domed roof to it, which is absolutely brilliant if you want to go and see that. Now if you look here at the wall on the right and look right towards the bottom, you'll see a large arch, which obviously would not have been there originally, because that would just let people in, wouldn't it? You wouldn't defend the city. Yeah, and there's actually 2 of these arches, look, and these were built primarily, I believe it might have originally been to allow access to the original rail station, which was inside the city walls, but then because it got too large, the travel in and out and too much for just two lines basically, so they built the train station, which we'll see in a moment, over the other side of the wall, outside the walls. So here we go. But yeah, this was obviously a main way in and out to the railway station for people just walking. And here's the main rail station, which now exists. Thank you for the comment there, Liz, that you can hear me. Wow. You were at school a while ago. So yeah, some people think these modern buildings are too near the wall, but you know, what can you do? And the train station, the holes down below were created in the 1840s. So the present station was designed by the North Eastern Railway architects Thomas Prosser and William Peachey, and opened on 25th of June 1877. It had 13 platforms, and then beyond it is the elaborate 1906 railway office building. So that was an office building originally, and now it's a hotel. So we're just taking this nice walk down here. I'm quite a train, well, I'm not a super buff, but I do like trains. So this is a double whammy for me. Trains on one side, wall on the other. And you can see quite a nice view of the wall stretching out in front of us. Where a bit further down they're doing more restoration work. It's good to know they are doing restoration, isn't it? And you can see these modern buildings here, which of course nobody likes really. Let's see if we can get past these people. Thank you. Now you'll see on the right as well a white memorial. Well, not on the right, directly ahead, but we'll see that closer up in a bit, because we have to come off the wall just by the memorial. What a beautiful day, and of course we now get the view with the Minster. So we've got the wall, memorial, and the Minster coming into view. Pretty good as well. We've got some people walking on the wall, and there. It's quite a nice view. Sorry. Somebody in a hurry. Sure, I've experienced wall traffic before. So let's have a view over here then. You can see some of the arching of the railway buildings over there next to what was the office buildings, which is now a hotel. And the beautiful bank up to the wall. What a great view it is from here of the Minster. Now got a full view of it, pretty much. And you can see also to the left of the Minster the half spire of St Wilfrid's. I'll try and get that for you. There we go. Certainly warming up. Stay with me because there's still a bit of excitement to come as we get to the museum gardens. We'll cross over Lendal Bridge into the museum gardens, and we'll find some Roman wall in the gardens, which have been quite, well, it's not ultra busy, but quite a few people in them. Here we have the Grand Hotel, and here is the memorial, which we're going to go down onto, I believe, because they're doing some more restoration work on this last part of the wall. Again, trying to keep Minster central for you. So they're doing something to the City Walls road arch apparently ahead of us. They're replacing worn and damaged stone cladding, but also creating something a little different, a new active water management system to help slow further decay. And yeah, let's go down the steps off the wall. And I'll need to see if I can cross the road, basically. It's the memorial. Right, looks like we've got an opportunity here to cross. I'll just take you to the memorial. It says their name liveth forevermore. And it's for men of the Northern Eastern Railway who gave their lives for their country in the Great War. The company, at that time the railway company, soon places this monument. Really good monument, that. So there we have what lies before us, the Minster, and we'll come up to Lendal Bridge. So Lendal Bridge is the second of three modern road bridges built over the River Ouse at York. Now the bridge replaced an early ferry service which had operated from Barker Tower on the southwest bank to Lendal Tower. Now the advent of the railways in the first half of the 19th century Sorry, the advent of the railways in the first half of the 19th century made the ferry service busier than ever, with passengers to cross the river going to and from the original railway station in Tanner Row. So they needed to build a bridge. So they laid the foundation stone in 1860 for the bridge. It was designed by William Dredge, but later that year disaster struck, and in 1861 the original bridge collapsed during construction and killed 5 men. The bridge was redesigned and finally opened in 1863. So here we see where it could have gone over there, look, where they're doing the work, and then the wall just comes down here, and then we're onto the bridge. So I've got these ornate sort of parapets. And we now have Hartley's here doing sandwiches and rolls and coffee. Very nice. Might pop there later. Here we are, going over the river again, and here's the big cruise boats, look. None of them going out, although, no, I don't think they're going out yet. Because they have inside areas. We have the White Rose of York and the ornate areas. The Lions of England. Oh dear. And the quays of the Diocese of York. All the way along the bridge. Now there was a toll bridge again, which is what these were, to collect your toll. Again, another coffee type shop. Oh, this has got a little back area, look. Very nice. Now the charge was ½ for foot passengers and ½ for animals and 2p for horse and drawn vehicles. The last toll was charged in 1894. Right, so we've now got to cross the road, which should be interesting, and go into the museum gardens. So stay with me for that, because it'll be quite interesting, I assure you. Perhaps this is the best place to cross up here. I went on the other side on my test route. Realise I've made a mistake now. Now it is quite busy in here. Right, we're getting across, so that's good news. And we're going in to the museum gardens.
dirty bastard today. I don't know why. No, in front row. I've been getting those.
So here we see the first evidence of these Roman style walls, I believe, at the base. And follow along the side of the gardens, and we know that this part here, this red brick, is Roman at the base of the wall, and then it's been built on and built on, and this red flash, you can just see it through here. We go around the other side, but the red bricks run along. A lot of people don't notice them because unless you're told what it is, you don't know, do you? This is quite pretty, look. Pretty garden. People enjoying the sun. We're going to go back round. This is called the Multanga Tower, and you can see all the way along here that red flash in the wall, that's Roman, and that's the oldest Roman wall that's been found above ground in York. So I'll take you right up to it. There we go, and you see it flashes all along the wall. That's the Multanga Tower. So this wall's built of neat small pale limestone blocks with a stripe of red tiles running through them. And the tower doesn't belong to a single time period. It's capped by a medieval wall which is laid across and on top of previous walls, including the Roman wall. And you'll see that there's actually repair on this Roman section. Here. Yeah. That's a repair because I believe a cannonball damaged it during the Civil War. Oops. It comes right the way around here, look. Around the base of the tower. So this was in the northwest corner of the Roman legionary fortress of Eboracum, which, if you remember, we mentioned on the first walk, behind the Minster. It would have been built about 300 AD. So one more treat before I let you go. I'm just going to go round here. We're going to end up back where we started the first wall walk, but we're going to go around the back. And I'll just show you that we also have in the gardens St Mary's Abbey, which was first built in 1088. The ruins we now see are all that remains of one of the wealthiest and most powerful Benedictine monasteries in England. The only thing is, I think they say that about most monasteries. Anyway. So it ties together two important events in English history. It was begun by William the Conqueror to reinforce his hold on the north after 1066, and ended up by, guess who, Henry VIII, as a consequence of his reformation of the church, which is why we see the ruins. But still a glorious sight. I think you'll agree. And we're just going to now walk to a curious little tower in the corner here of these gardens, and it's called St Mary's Tower, built sometime between 1318 and 1324 by Stephen de Ostwick. It was a two-storey structure. And it has an octagonal interior.
Right, you need a sandwich.
It's just through here. Look back at the abbey. There it is up in the corner, look. It was badly damaged, and you can see it's still got damage on it. When we get closer you'll see it. During 1644 siege, when it was mined, I like mining things, by parliamentarian forces during the attack, with an explosion beneath its foundations. It almost totally destroyed it. And here it is. And the chap having a look over the wall there. I think he's going to jump over. There he is. That's interesting. I don't know why he's doing that.
Excuse me, Bob. You do me a favour.
What?
See that pink sleeping bag near that doorway there?
I can't touch it, mate.
Mind me, can you get me it, please?
I'm not touching it. Sorry.
That big drop.
Well, there you go. The full experience of York, eh? So here we have another part that's crumbled away, reinforcing it. And we just walked through the back here. This is the York Art Museum, and if you remember, that's where we started. And then we come back through the front of the art gallery, past some more walls. Oh my god, you've got some interesting art here. There's a bonus for you. And we just come back to the front where we started. And if you remember, we started on the first walk with this chap here, this statue, looking at Booth and Bar and the Minster. So we've made it right the way around the walls in 2 parts. So, even with interruptions from people wanting a sleeping bag, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm not sure what my next walk will be, but keep looking out for it. It'll be somewhere interesting. And I hope you've enjoyed the walk today. I've certainly enjoyed doing it for you. And if you do wish to leave a gratuity, that's fine by me, but you know, I do it for the love of it. I love giving people the opportunity to see things they might not have seen before, or to see things and reminisce if they have been before. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you may have learned something new today or seen something new today. And thank you very much for watching. So that's it for now. My name's David Pearson. Bye from York. Have a good rest of the day. Bye for now.